for Torquay. Chris Hargreaves, the captain. He stays on side. Carlisle checks instead. He's looking for Benyon. Sills.
And welcome back to part two. We've lost to Chris.
He's got kids that he has to look after.
Ridiculous. I don't. I still live in my parents' house
Gave
doing
that up years ago.
podcasts. Shocking. Yeah. Right. So go on, Kelly. Take us to your corner.
Thank you very much. A huge thank you to everyone who contributed this week. And I mean everyone. I think this is the most engaging Kelly's Corner of the season we've had so far. So it's another frustrating draw at home for the Gull'S. We rescued a point against Maidstone to keep our unbeaten home record intact. Our current form for November shows 1 win, 3 draws, with the Gull'S 4th in the table, which on paper doesn't look all that bad. But we got to ask you, Yellow Army, do you have any concerns of our current run of form? And do you believe we are on track for a top 7 finish? And as I said, we have lots to dive into, so let's get into it now. James Bailey on Facebook says, so for me, like all good teams, you start at the back, give yourself a solid foundation to build on and go from there. I think we look defensively solid. We have good defensive shape and structure. Going forwards, we look disjointed. And when our wing play is nullified, we look like our plan B is hump it long like the Johnson days. I'd like to see us have a plan B that allows our creative players to get control of the ball and create chances from central areas as well as the wings. I'm hopeful as the season progresses that this develops. Pre-season, I would have said that he would have taken 10th place before Christmas with a late season playoff charge. Our position now has raised expectations that are beyond our current ability. I think I'd rate the season overall 8 out of 10. And I think we're in a good position to kick on. But if we don't improve offensively, then we won't be able to gain promotion this season. And I'm sure Paul, Neil, Bryn are all aware and will sort all of this over the coming months. So thank you, James. And then
Lovely
we've got
comment, agree with it all.
lovely. And some more on Facebook. So we start with Ross Warner, who says, I'll still take mid-table to playoffs. Defensively, we look okay. But without a midfield general to break up play, the opposition surge at the defence. 3-5-2 isn't working. And we really should go more for a 4-4-2 with pace on the wings. We need to create more and play on the grass more and less in the air. Too much hoofball to a lonely tall man. Get it down to the wings and cross. It's far better than where we've been recently. Is the Watton effect losing its shine? Still too early to say. What can be said is that the loan market needs exploring. We've got Simon Bundy, who says out and out winger needed and to start with 2 strikers and a winger. Nick Pontin says, sadly, we could do with a little luck right now to hide a few under par performances of late. Keep believing. Come on, you Yellows. Remember what could have been. Steve George says, 4th in the table without playing particularly well. Solid foundations at the back. Only concern is lack of creativity and goals. And finally, on Facebook, we've got Stephen Badcott, who says this league is such a poor division and so wide open that it seems an ideal opportunity for the biggest club in this division to stake a claim for promotion. But we play sideways and backwards and lacked the inclusiveness to create even more chances against, let's face it, pub teams. We are 4th because everyone is beating each other and there are no decent teams. Any side with a touch of class will emerge as leaders, and the quiet rise of Dorking suggests it might be them. For us, hoofing the ball to Cook appears to be our main strategy, and until we play it with a bit more gear and try to play through opposition defences rather than lumping it to their centre-backs, we might struggle to stay the pace. We should be good enough to, even with our current players, to get 7th, but not by playing hoofball.
Cool,
So thank you to
Steve Badcott's a teacher, can't you? That was an essay in itself. Hiya, Steve. Thanks very much for getting in touch, mate. I do think we lack a little bit of guile. Go on, Kelly. Go on. We're going to be here all night, aren't we? So I'll stop interrupting.
That's all right. So now we move into Twitter. Again, thank you, everyone. And apologies if I do miss anyone out, by the way. There's a lot to go through. So Dom, our leader. Good evening, Dom. He says, I'm confident of a top 7 place. Defensively, we're well set. Needs to be more aggressive in attack, a higher press, and gamble a little to win games. Important for the Yellow Army to keep the faith. This was never going to be an easy cakewalk back to the National League. I agree with that 100%, Dom. Well said. Richard Heasham says, thinks we are easily a top 7 team this season. The last few results, and in the main, the performances have been concerning. It's becoming very hoofball and akin to how Gary Johnson played. I do believe, however, if we sort out our central midfielders and play to our strengths, however, we'll be fine. The great Paul Mulhern says in the next 8 fixtures, we play 5 of the top 9 teams currently. It's going to set the tone for the season. As it stands, the team are exactly what Watton said they'd be. Hard to beat. However, successful teams need to win, not draw. Doing reasonably well, but must improve. And he also follows up by saying, also should have added that it's vital that the Yellow Army stay behind the team as much as possible. I know it sounds like sound bites, but the support makes a huge difference and can be worth a few extra points over the season. Fully agree with you there, Paul. I think it's fair to say yesterday was our first attendance under 3,000 for a while, but I think
it's going to happen with a run of games on Tuesday night.
2,800 on a Tuesday night in November. Good. We were getting nowhere near that last season, were we? I think it's still out.
Away fans.
Yeah, I think it's fantastic support.
The away support in this league's a disgrace. People give it the big one about, oh, they're all well run. Oh, they're really good. You'll catch a cold if you don't take this league seriously. And then they send 34 away games. It was 40 odd, wasn't it, on Saturday? Bloody Kent. We're not talking about like away travel from Eastern Europe. You know, there are trains, there are motorways. 34. Come on, boys.
I think Maidstone are the second biggest attended club in our division as well, aren't they?
Are they?
I think so. I think they get about 2,000 at home.
Did they all get travel sick then? Quells we used to get when I was a kid. We used to have to take Quells before we used to go on buses and things. It worked fine. It toughened us up no end. Nothing wrong with throwing up on buses.
Oh, maybe that could be a new piece, Swanee.
Yeah,
Haywood's rants.
And throwing up
That's
on
it.
Yeah.
Although if you were going by train, I think they'd be stuck in Salisbury or something for half the night, wouldn't they? They don't think the trains run past that late, do they? I don't know.
Anyway,
I'd defend himself.
I digress. We've still got plenty of my corner to go. So Alan Wills says for 20 strangers to form a team, be 4th in the league, unbeaten at home, and have one of the best defensive records after 17 games is remarkable. Superb progress after the shower of the last 2 seasons. We're ahead of target for a top 7 finish, I'd say. Johnny Jones says perspective is needed on where we are and how close we were to oblivion only a few months ago. Lots to improve on, namely how Watton gets the most out of Young and Cook and how we take games to the opposition, especially at Playmore. We've got Clive. Evening, Clive, if you're watching. He says, I think it was Neil Warnock who said it's the draws that kill you when you're going for promotion. We've got
well, I know it was.
Well said. Yeah. Scott says, oh, one sec. Scott says, perhaps controversial, but I'm not very worried. We're still 4th. And even in this poor form, it's not like we're losing 3 or 4-0 every week.
Very true.
I'm hoping things improve soon, but with the massive change in the squad over the summer, it's inevitable that we face some challenges. Mark Hurst says it's quite scruffy. The game plan isn't really clear, at least to him anyway. A positive is that last season we lost 18 of 23 games when we conceded first. We're much more likely to battle back now. Only lost 3 of the 8 games when conceding first this season. Peter Timpson says we are on target for a top 7 finish. Most of the support need to be positively and most importantly vocally back the team when we're at Playmore. Phil Perkins says it seems we seem to be playing with the handbrake on. We only start to play late on when we're chasing a result. This isn't the way teams win a league. So unless things change, I can see us finishing in the playoffs. There's plenty of time to change that though. In need of a creative midfielder. There is Josh Coles who says, I'm worried we look a bit too young and nice, lacking some serious grit and a bit of nastiness in the team. Hoofing it for 90 minutes can't continue. It's not acceptable for teams divisions below us. Not sure 5 at the back is working out too well. Maybe if our wing backs were slightly better. A lot of people say we lack creativity. I actually think we have those players, but creative players don't create in matches when the midfield battle isn't won in the first place. You need proper men in there that are going to give them a platform to work on. There's also Tibbs on Twitter who says, I think on course for U7, which is in line with my upper expectations. It seems that we can maybe get 1.5 working from defence, midfield and attack in any one game. I don't see all 3 clicking with current midfield. And the last ones on Twitter is from Ollie who says 0 players to over 20 in 4 months. And with a clean slate, Don't know how people are that worried. Fourth in the league, only with a couple of injuries. I personally would have snatched it out of your hand. Only one main problem with this team so far is the finishing and also the right backs area. So that's everyone on Facebook and Twitter. Once again, thank you to everyone
Great job,
who
everyone.
wrote in Yellow Army. And there's just a couple more to read on a WhatsApp chat.
Great job, Tom, as well. Doing great, Kelly's Corner this
So-
week. So much reading.
A lot of reading. That's all right. I'm gone for a couple of weeks, so all good. So just a couple on
Biggest corner in the
our Talkie
world.
Talk chat.
Oh,
There's
oh,
Paul
yeah.
Dennis who says Gary Johnson said that football is an entertainment business, but watching
been
United
quoting
for
this.
the last few games, we have certainly
Yes.
not been that. I'm sure that most of us would accept a team getting boring wins if it meant we were top of this league, but at the moment we are getting neither. Do you think that the budget is even there to bring in the players we are currently lacking, such as an Asa Hall or a Chris Hargreaves type of player, and from somewhere a forward who can score
Obviously,
goals,
yeah.
such as Tyler Harvey? I am just worried that all the early season optimism may just start to disappear. And there's also Terry who says, I think the honeymoon is already over. 5 months ago, being fourth at this stage was a dream, but are we flattered by this position? It's not our play that has us here. It's the dire state of this league this year. Has it ever been as poor? Watton has had this team now for 5 months, and we don't look any different from our first preseason game at Buckland. Actually, with all the hoofball recently, we've gone backwards. We don't seem to have any plan, any tactics, any idea what to do with the ball. And would an occasional shot be too much to ask for? I'm starting to wonder if Watton is up to the task. So
It's good to balance it out, isn't it?
a good
Lovely
balance. I think
Yellow Army.
I think that's a very fair balance.
Lovely balance, Yellow Army.
I've got
And
slightly out of earshot. My wife is listening into this.
yes.
She was quite critical of the last poster. She referred to him as being very miserable. And she said he needed to get a life.
You're lucky you've got a team.
We're lucky we've got a team, says Celia, and there is definitely something in that.
That is very true.
I've just asked her if she wants to come on, but she's given me a very frosty response to that. I might get her to do it for me next week. I think.
Does she want a quick vocal Kelly's Corner?
I think I'm getting a bit overexposed. I think it's time for a bit of new talent, really. Swanee, are we going to have to start? Swanee or Tommy, I don't care. Are we going to have to start monitoring Blue Sky now? Because I think Blue Sky is the new mastodon in it. Every time anybody gets a bit of a monk on with Twitter, it's not been the same since Russell Musker took it over, has it? Twitter. Honestly, people are migrating in droves. I believe the Guardian has said it's not going to have a Twitter presence anymore. So it might be that you're going to have to start monitoring even more social media channels, mate.
Wonderful.
Reds is a thing now, apparently.
Reds, yes. Good.
I've been saying about that. It's a good point. Where is the future?
Let us know, Yellow Army, if you're planning on
probably, yeah.
If you plan on moving away from Twitter, let us know. And
I think we might need to follow people. I'd hate to come off Twitter personally, but I think probably
I'm
only on Twitter for Talk United and this, to be fair. I think that's the only thing I use it for.
Yeah, same. I love the Talk United Twitter community. So that I've been in for years.
Again, thank you to everyone who wrote in this week. I know we've had a couple of poor results, and it's great that you've all taken the time to write in, and it doesn't go unnoticed by us. Once again, thank you, Yellow Army. And,
and on a personal note, thank you for all of the nice comments recently. I wasn't here last week. I took a week off because behind the mask of Sam Soil Talkie Talk, there is also a personal life to be lived, and things over the last couple of years have been quite intense at times, which is why this community has been such a good escape for me. And why all of your lovely comments, people who stop us and me and all that, it really does make a difference. It is new, it is different having this much view and eye, especially when you start doing BBC stuff as well. But I can't just say how much I appreciate all the lovely words and stuff like that.
I think we got away with it last week, Clive, didn't we?
Yeah, you did a good job. Good job.
Yeah.
I
think we got away with it last week. Yeah.
We love you.
I still edited it.
It's nice to have you back, mate. But
it is. I'm on the mend. I'm on the mend with it all.
I have got.
So yes, thank you from me.
Absolutely, mate. It's lovely to have you back. I've got some film news. I know this is not something we normally cover on Talkie Talk, but there is a trailer doing the rounds for a film called Wheel Gone Kid 4. And it stars in a cameo role our very own Neil Warnock. He plays, I think his character's called Inspector Conker. He plays a rather senior policeman who has to sort out other policemen, one of whose name is Spanners. I could be making all this up, but I'm not. And we'll put a link.
Dreams you have, Clive.
We'll put a link to the trailer in the notes for this episode. So Wheel Gone Kid 4, when Neil's going up to get his Oscar next year, you heard it here first.
Nice. Very nice. Well done, Neil Warnock. A man of so many talents.
And now we get to look forward to FA Trophy action on the weekend as well,
Yes.
don't we? How fun.
Big game.
Yeah,
It's a big game. I often disagree with people about the merits of the FA Trophy. I am a
I
fan.
like it. I'm a fan of it too.
I am not a fan of getting knocked out of cup competitions. So I very much hope that we get the big
Bit of
performance
money as well.
what was asking his players for last night. It isn't going to be an easy game. I can't believe I'm saying this. Truro are a good side, and we'll need to be at our best to prevail. I think, are they charging £10? It's who will have the Tamar bragging rights this time next week? You know, I'm not selling it very well, but it's quite a big game, and I'm looking forward to it.
No, get behind the boys. I'll be in Bristol's bench, changing it up this week. So I've actually got my uncle from Germany who is a lifelong Torquay fan. So I treat he gets with FA Trophy action on his holiday over here. So there we go. I'll be enjoying.
Do you think
that.
we'll get 2,000 there? I think that would be a reasonable crowd.
I think so.
Do you reckon
I
we'll?
think so. Yeah.
We do. Fair play.
I don't think we'll get 3. I don't think it'll be anywhere near 3, but I think you could get 2,000 for a trophy game.
I hope we go full-ish strength. You know, it's a sort of trophy. First couple of rounds, maybe change it a little bit. But it's worth, depending on we're talking. If we're looking like, we're not getting titles, go for it. You know, that's money. It's pretty, when you get to the latter stages, it's decent money, and you're not going to rule out Wembley, are you? So
a lot of National League clubs seem to disregard the trophy.
Exactly.
I've been to a couple of the non-league final days. It's quite a good day out.
as Clive said, we need a cup run. We need a good old cup run.
And we're owed one. And
I mean, in the not too distant past, Hallchurch have won it, haven't they? Gosport, I think, got to the final one year.
We got to the final 2008.
There's no reason why you can't go and win the thing. And you know, with
a good
the
team.
trophy cabinet's not groaning with silverware, is it? They wouldn't have to
Well, it's
move
got one.
out of the way.
No.
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, I agree.
I'll take the bowl though.
Yeah, the bowl is still the priority.
Yeah.
Like, I know we've all got a bit heavy.
Bowl over promotion, bowl off anything else. Bring home
But
the bowl.
the bowl is all I care about now, to be honest with you. Yeah, the league's kind of important to get where you need to be, but the bowl, as I made it very clear to Paul Watson in our interview, it's all about the bowl.
Yeah.
Time to take that seriously. Right, so thank you for watching, everyone. See you all next week.
Good night, boys. Thank you.
Up the goals.
Here's Hargreaves, chance for Torquay. Chris Hargreaves, the captain. If he stays onside, Carlisle checks instead. He's looking for Benjamin. Sills.